living in, we are competing in, we are repeating in, we are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
Hi everybody and welcome to this Best for the World broadcasting. And today we will talk about every day is I have to read it. Every day is your chance to make this city a little better. And as guest we have Marcel Rotea Nilsson, that was right? Kind of right, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Monsen. And my name is Monica and I'm the host and co-host here in Empogate. Daniel, we go way back. You are engineer? No, not engineer, you're architect. No, that's the engineer. Yes. Yeah. But you're also futurist and speaker. Shortly, who are you?
Well, hi Monica. Nice to be here, of course, and nice to meet you first time today. Well, yeah, of course, I'm an architect trying to predict the future, I guess, and that's what we all do. And you have to take in the facts. And I've been spending a lot of years embracing new technologies and new ideas into architecture and try to make sense. I'm, just getting started after 15 years, but we're getting there somehow. So so I try to make sense of it all and see how it can really how it can change the way we think, how we make our choices, and how we also design our cities. It's a lot of things happening right now.
Interesting. And Marcel, we met 2 weeks ago, I think, at a conference here in Sweden, and then you were talking about AI and the way we can cooperate it into healthcare. And I listened to your lecture and then I attended a workshop with you, and then I thought Daniel and Marcel, they would be a great couple to talk about this topic in a podcast. Who are you, Marcel?
I am an engineer from Malmö. I'm 36 years old. I come from a background where I've done a little bit of everything from being a plumber, working as a bartender, working as a teacher and a special pedagogue towards kids with different disabilities. There's a lot of things happening with this disruptive technology, AI, right now, and I get to, as an machine learning engineer, I get to apply it to many different domains and see where it can disrupt. And it's going to be very interesting to talk to an architect about how to accommodate these disruptions of everyday life in the city, how we would build around it, like when schools change totally, when we have our little AI teacher that goes around with us, or whatever it is, like how would you build around it if we get to self-driving cars, which seems like the hardest thing in AI, and we have the biggest group of men working in the world that gets unemployed. How do we build around that? There's a lot of things, both that is scary and that is just great potential to talk about, and it's going to be fun.
I think you should tell a little bit about what machine learning engineer is to the listeners. I don't think everyone knows that.
Okay, so my formal education is as a civil engineer in physics with my master's in machine intelligence. So a machine learning engineer, under the umbrella of AI, we have a lot of things. So we have ethics, we have neuroscience, we have mathematics, we have robotics, we have just like regular algorithms that are smart. But then we have this machine learning field that we usually talk about when we talk about AI. And that is basically feeding a machine data so that it can learn how to construct the algorithms for that data itself and work with that data itself. And so a machine learning engineer is someone that implements this. So in my work, it's a lot both like giving advice to customers on how to handle their data from the beginning so they can actually get use out of it, and then get their data and build around it and train models on it, and hopefully create some value for them. And for me, I enjoy the part where I have to get into their domain, because otherwise I cannot understand how to create value for them. And I guess otherwise I would get bored. I usually get bored with things quite fast, but this is something where I can change domains and, I can implement it here, implement it there, and implement it there.
Never-ending story.
Yeah, and nowadays when we talk about AI, everybody thinks it's just these big language models, but it's a lot of other things as well, anomaly detection and so on, where we would use deep neural networks or intelligent algorithms like random forest or something like that to find anomalies in a data set or to predict something from a data set. So yeah, maybe the prices of houses in the future or whatever based on historical data.
Yeah, it's very fascinating, really. I've seen your picture at your office. You have this every day is a chance to make the city a little better. You have it on the wall
Yes.
in your office, and the way you talk about there are all people live in cities, but it's very few people that really is creating the cities. And when I talk to Marcel or listen to Marcel, you had that approach too about the integration. And when I asked you to pick out a 3 topic each, you wrote a lot. So I summed it up to 2 topics, and one of the topics is the planning of the city, the integration, and to make the city alive. So what's your impact on that? If we start with you, Daniel, what do you say?
Well, let me just come from another point of view. A very interesting fact talking about AI. When you talk about AI, I really hear you're describing a city. A city is a machine, you know. It has in data, out data. If it thrives, it grows, you know. And it's also, you can program it, you can ask a question to it, and you can receive it. So I see a lot of parallels to a city plan and an AI engine. I know it's crazy, but that's how I see it. But then again, in a city, there is a lot of people still waiting for somebody else to take action. There's a lack of a restaurant. People say somebody should do this, you know, somebody should do that. But the power is not with them. It's with them. The power is within the user. You should actually every day try to make the city more and more. You should start the restaurant yourself. You should be the power of the engine. So the question is then, how do you make a city grow? If that is your aim, of course. Do you know how to make a city grow, by the way? What's the main component to make a city grow? How do you nurture a city? What do you need to add to a city to make it grow? Do you know that? What do we need to have in a city to make it grow?
Schools?
No, well, yes, of course, but not really.
Well, okay.
If you take
houses.
House, yes, but not really. But if you take I don't know, you make a lot of jobs. Is that a city really? No. So what you need to put into city, you give it when people meeting points. Every time somebody meets in a city, it will grow.
Oh,
you can have a business
meet,
meet, romantic meet. You can have a social meet. But if you make places to meet, then you have a city that thrives.
Yeah,
If you take it away, then you won't have a city anymore. That's really what you need to strive for. How do you make meeting points in a city for different things? And that's what we need to also make. It's not in AI, but that's how we make it grow. And that's make the city more attractive for people too. So a good city has a lot of citizens that meet up everybody, and that makes it safe, because people are the best safety factor there is. It's not cameras. It's not good planning. It's how do you get many people in a city?
But okay, I have a question on that then, because like now with the things coming like the metaverse, like putting in billions and billions of dollars into that, and when that actually is good, like when you can meet with someone,
that's why we're there.
Everywhere is a meeting point.
Exactly, that's why we go to metaverse.
Then everywhere is a city.
There's no meeting points in the city, but in metaverse it is. You know?
Yeah, and then you don't have to have physical ones.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the city planning would change.
Exactly.
So because you have digital meeting space.
They figured it out. On the internet, they figured it out. It's a meeting point, But in the cities, we forgot it. That's why it's when you go to a vacation to Spain, you go out to eat at night, and you have a street full of food and people. It's the best place. It's a big meeting place. If you go to a Swedish city, it's dead. Nobody out there, and it's unsure because nobody's meeting there. So you need to address all cities to make people interact. If they interact, you will get a city. And that's what they have figured out in the digital domain.
It must be cultural as well, right?
No, not really. No, the Romans made this happen 2,000 years ago. They made architecture and city planning. We have a bottom floor
but
for
it's
meeting.
warmer in Rome than it is here. We have this darkness and depression during winter where we don't want to meet people. Because in the summer, the Swedes are also meeting in the city.
Look at the city of Swedish mega city of Nässjö. You know the city.
Oh, that's a mega city. Yeah, we know that mega city.
It's basically. I hope some. I'm going to make a little joke here. But it's a train junction, right? And that's good because then people meet and they involve a city in the forest. They have a lot of jobs as well too. But in America, in big deserts or anywhere where you actually connect people, they stay and they make a city. If you take a supermarket, Väla, or other big commercial places, you shop and you thrive, but you don't live there, so it's not a city. No. But the moment you start building residential, then you get the city. So what we need to do is to understand the digital thing here. That's what I'm really interesting. The future of cities will have AI, of course, govern the cities and making sure that people will meet there as well. But then again, now it's all a bit off topic again. That we also need to make the people living in the city be able to govern what's going to happen. That's really important.
In the city,
Because when the cities they're planned today from the top down, and we need to turn it from the bottom up.
Data-driven city development, basically.
That's interesting because we have why not? There's so many rules, right? When you make a city today, there's a Trafikverket, streets, and there's performance, blah blah blah. There is geotechnic, day water, sunlight factors. There's so many factors, and there's somebody. It funnel this down to one city, right? And then it's happy. Everybody's gonna be really happy, and then you build it and nothing happens. It's a dead city. People wonder why is Copenhagen so vibrant and Malmö is it's running. It's a second runner up, because it's people in there. They meet. You can make any environment, but you have to really invest that. So the city planning all comes to how do you make people connect.
But most if you say that you don't have to have meeting points because you have the internet,
do you mean physical ones?
No.
What I mean is like it will change how we develop cities totally because we don't need physical meeting points because we will have it like the the digital meeting space will be such a good approximation of a physical meeting point that the real ones are not needed anymore. There.
Oh my God!
There is this thing where game graphics is getting better and better, right? When we were young, game graphics
sucked.
They're really bad. And if you go even further back, chess doesn't have the best graphics, right? But if we follow the curve, we will at some point come to a point where the graphics of games is just as good or better than reality.
As the reality.
Yeah, of course.
And not only graphics, we're starting to see neural interfaces and so on and so on. So there will maybe be other things like smells and all of that. We have digital gnosis on Axis is developing, I think, or something like that. So then we won't need any physical
But
meeting spaces.
do you really think that it would replace the physical meetings?
I think like if I'm just gonna like muse about what will happen in the future when that happens, if that happens, if we don't, if our culture can go on with the power of having that kind of technology and don't destroy ourselves and so on, I think a big chunk of the population will choose to live full time in digital worlds instead of living in this world. We don't know that this is not a digital world. Like the probability that we are living in a digital world now is bigger than the probability that it is a real world. So,
But then again, a big part of the population will choose. Of course, I agree with that. To stay in the digital, it's more fun in the digital world. It's
you,
a better.
you can have your own server with your friends where you can choose to live on Mars or choose to live in the perfect
But there will
house.
also be people that choose not to, that really love the human interaction, the smell, the touch, the feeling, the unplanned scenario.
Why wouldn't that be in the digital world?
But the touch,
Yeah,
why wouldn't that be?
But well,
touch is just
exactly.
it's just signals from your body to your brain. If you can hook your brain up,
yeah, exactly,
then you can get anything.
Oh, that reminds me of the one of the Terminator films. I think you said, "Do you want to have sex?" And they sit in this pool and they put this helmet on, and now we're having sex.
But you already have the prosthetics that actually transmits feeling.
Of course,
to the user.
Yeah.
So we already have this.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm getting back to the old saying, even better than the real thing. You know, I wrote that in my text as well. But because I embrace this development, and I think it's going to happen. But again, if something really is, you make a better copy of something. It's going to be even better. This sex is going to be better than the one you have in real life. Because it's optimized. And it might even be have a parameter that says make it also a bit bad because it's like a real life. But then again, when the copy is better than the original, would you still buy it as a consumer? That's really my main point, because I love AI. I thrive it. It should be used in city planning. Let's talk more about that. But again, would I really want it? I don't know. I really meet Bono in real person than his AI. Because it's all about brand now. We're going to different.
But the architect is not Bono.
No, but an example, a house. I'd rather have a house. I had Norman Foster, the most famous architect, draw me a house. And not his better AI, because they would not be the real thing.
Oh yeah,
I can tell my friends, I have the real house.
But it's like you are the person that like the musical equivalent would be like, I want to listen to my music on vinyl, right? Yeah. Because we have the little errors on it, and we have all that. But we have way better ways to encode music today.
This famous architect house is 100% this architect, and his AI copy, and it's 100%. You can't tell them apart. Let's say they're equal, 100% equal. It's two houses. You can't tell them apart, no way whatsoever. This architect, he can die as well. He can make two new houses, but it will still be the same way. But they have two equal houses right there, and I'm supposed to pick one. I will choose the original because it's all about the brand, and I can tell my friends, you know what, I have the real thing. And this will be very valuable, I think, in the future, because you want the original in your thought.
I think there will be a small group of people that will think that is valuable.
Yeah.
But I think, as most people do,
but then
they will take the ones that they have the easiest access to, and that they can buy for the cheapest.
But then the price will difference. Then the price for the original will be more higher than
much more
if they're equal.
But a very small market.
Yeah, of course. But then that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's going to be
like art or anything else. Like it will be art rather than something that you actually use.
Because if you go to cities, if you plan this by AI, they will be perfect cities. And the cities, they will actually adopt to you and to the user. Yeah. The city will say, I need some more users. And the city will make regulations somehow. It will plan more parks or whatever to make it grow, so it will attract more users. But will I want to live in this city? Maybe I want the city with little defects here and there. You
want the floors with the vinyl.
I don't know if we're going to jump this far into the future as we have done right now. But one interesting maybe thought about that, you're saying the city will govern itself.
Of course, yeah.
And of course this will go on a higher level, countries, the world, and so on. And of course that will be more optimal.
Yeah.
But we have this like at least here in the West, we have this like feeling that democracy is the best thing ever.
Of course.
And of course, democracy is gone then.
Yeah, but there's
So-
no democracy in city planning. It isn't really.
No,
no.
and
Yeah.
to
Oh, there is
be
in,
fair, we call ourselves democracies,
Yeah.
but a small sphere of our power structure is governed
Of course, yeah.
democratically. Like the private sphere is much bigger, and
Yes.
that's not democratic. If like they're like in between because you can
yeah.
vote with your money and so on.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, if we're designing a house and you say the door is blue and this guy says it's green, the democracy says it's yellow, but the design process is not democracy. But the approval for the city has to be, of course. That's what I'm saying. But I mean,
and in a digital city, it could be blue for you and yellow for me at the same time.
yeah, but the digital city, we have a good speed in this conversation. But the thing is, but
We can all live in our totally individualized worlds.
Yeah, but the most
together.
Yeah, but the most environmental city, for example, is a twin city, a twin digital copy that's been regenerating new designs to optimize the carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And how could you say no to that in the real life?
And I think that's the
Yeah.
more short term
Of course, yeah.
thing that will happen. That we build this digital. I think NVIDIA yesterday, like they just had their conference. It was just a couple of days ago, and they released their digital copy of the Earth.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And they talked a lot about like one of the main buzzwords they used was digital copy, because if we're going to train AIs to work in the real world, we don't want to train them where problems can arise in the real world. We want a digital copy of the world for them to train in.
Yes, of course.
And make that as real as possible. And I think maybe this will take us towards these like Matrix futures rather than the gaming industry in some way, because there's so much money in that right now.
Yeah, I mean, when I meet some customers today, they ask me, "Is this the best blueprint you can make? The best floor plan you can make?" I say, "No, it's not. I made this in 1 hour, but my AI counterpart, this is technology that we have today, has made the same floor plan, but it made 10,000 attempts in 1 hour.
Yep.
So this is better, you know." So what are they buying? They have to, then they're buying me, my brand instead. They're not buying the solution.
They're buying you to just choose from like the top 5 that the AI presents to you.
Oh, that's so boring.
Do you think that's boring?
Yeah.
Do you really think that's boring?
But if you are a creator, like Daniel, who is an architect, you want to create, and I don't mean it should be flaws or something like that, but you want to create something, and if you put the all the domains, do you say that in English too? I know, like we create a residential home for people with disabilities. We've done that before. It's based on our knowledge and our experience, but we put all the domains in, put all our knowledge into the domain. They will do that house themselves.
Of course, yeah.
And we don't have the need to meet up and talk about that room there and that. It's what we create in the future if AI is the one who's creating.
I mean, you will create in a different way, because in some way you will create through a conversation with the AI.
Yeah.
So you would go, we need this and this and this, and you have to think about this and this. Like we have to have I don't know, rounded edges, because we have people that have epilepsy and can in the nights they will have their attacks, or what you call it. It's, in Swedish that would be, it's not the direct translation, but they will have their seizures.
Seizure, yeah.
And then you would get, okay, I generate, and we have this land area, we have this blah blah blah, and then it would generate a digital copy where you can just go into it with a VR headset or whatever,
that we do.
and experience it and go like, oh, I want this to be different, and you see it change in real time, and you will be able to design it just as you want, and then it would send it on to hopefully like robots that will build that house for you. You
Exactly,
know?
yeah.
So it will be a very different way, but like we could say the same about like, oh, we used to run everywhere. Now we're driving.
It's true.
Like,
by yourself. Yeah.
Are we taking away that experience?
But now we're
we are.
driving to the gym, and then we're running on that.
I like that.
On the
running.
treadmill, like
and
the
then,
rat.
Yeah, and then we take our car back
It's
home.
true.
We should just go out running, but that's not the way.
Yeah, but I mean, when you make a house or car or an engine or whatever, you also measure the out data, and the AI takes this in consideration and makes better improvement. You know,
Yeah.
that's the same with this house with disability. It's sort of a system that we work with,
Yeah.
and as long as we're designing a system, AI is very good. You know, but
Yeah.
you have to be able to measure also what is the effect.
Yeah.
And also that's one problem of today, not the future,
Yeah.
that we're not measuring the efficiency. We make a lot of detail plans and whatnot, master plans and blah, blah, blah. And you build these places, but nobody measures afterward what happened. Did we really achieve the
we're
goal?
not data driven.
No,
we're not.
that's the first part.
And also, like, one thing,
Yeah.
as you said, like, oh, who will create? But like, if you want to build a house right now, would you let Daniel do it or a 5-year-old?
Exactly.
Not a 5.
Because Daniel will be a 5-year-old compared to an AI in not too long, or like, and that's generous towards Daniel,
Exactly. Thanks, man.
and that's towards us all. Like,
I
we
thought
will,
I had a great answer. I didn't.
we will be the first to go because we're really making AI really good at coding.
But you know,
so I mean, I will be like.
But
I don't know.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
an ant.
That's what I'm saying because you know, a 5-year-old they're more creative than a grown-up. So I take it as a compliment.
Ooh, yeah.
But anyway, no, but it's true. It's true. So that's what I mean. I speak a lot of my colleagues about this, how to approach AI. We use AI today to produce our products. We do that. We have it as a tool today, like everybody else. But what's the future? And I still believe that we have to work ourselves as a brand or in the future, because the tool, anybody can design a house in the future in 2 minutes, you know. So what's the use anyway? Then you need somebody else to mentor you instead, or take your thoughts, your dreams. I mean, really, I make your dreams reality, and then I transform my coffee to blueprints somehow, you know.
Maybe we will go back to have like actual social groups.
I think so.
And actually interact with each other.
I think so too. I really,
I think we have the need to be social. I work with people all over the country, and I think it's nice to have a teams with the customer in Umeå. But I like to see Umeå, and I like to have dinner with them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I don't think that need is going to change me. Maybe my grandchildren, but I think I'm driven to the social.
Definitely.
I mean, Teams meetings.
You're driven to something that give you that feeling that you have always gotten. So if we can instead make that digital and fool you good enough, you won't care.
Yeah, but then again, for every journey a person make,
you can't tell the difference.
I'm not in Umeå, but I'm a Trekkie, and Daniel as well, so we know what it's like to be in Star Trek. So.
Oh yes, I love you so much more already. Like
no, but what you're saying is
all these Star Wars people.
Yeah, no, but Star Trek is different.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, no,
Star Trek is so much better.
Yeah.
All these Star Wars people everywhere.
But no, the thing is, but there's a point, Monica, because I also agree. Every trip you make, every journey, it makes you grow as a person, and that's what you really like. As an entrepreneur, you hate the goal, you like the journey. Yeah. And with Teams, it's just make it efficient. Teams is not a journey, you know. I'm strongly considering to deinstall Teams on my computer, because I think it's the most boring meeting you can have. You know, I don't grow as a person in Teams. I don't, you know, I learn facts, but I don't taste it. I don't feel it in my heart. So I'm really thinking about, you know, to start a Facebook group, you know, deny Teams. They have a bad support as well, technical support, so we can throw them out. No, but really, you have to make these decisions. In the beginning, I really liked AI, and I still do. But I think, you know, I think a factor of people will start to go to more heart, more feelings, and join these kind of groups for design, for everything, for cities. You know, I think there were going to be a very interesting future coming up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And like what you're saying, yes, because we're interacting with a screen, a keyboard, and a mouse, and like
yes, ridiculous.
And the keyboard has been here forever, and now we're seeing like. Even like the first time we interact with like a neural interface and implant that into somebody's brain, as we talked about earlier, already interacting and playing games on the computer with the brain instead. And we have this like stroke patients that can finally talk again because they can write stuff directly from their brain. And when, I mean, imagine when you have Wi-Fi on those ships and you can actually, like, why would we talk like this? The bandwidth of me speaking is super low when I can just send my thoughts to you.
Yeah, but what you're looking is everybody want to have fun, you know, and if you do it digitally, you're going to be in a digital world doing fun, you know. That's what it's all about. If you like Teams, if it's fun for you, you're going to do it. If you know, it's all about. I don't like to do economics bookings. I have accountants for that, you know. They think it's fun. I hate it, you know. So I outsource them to them. I think it's the same thing. This accountant might be AI, but they think it's fun, you know. I don't. So. You're going to be more and more happy. They're actually talking about cities as entertainment cities now. The donut city. Yeah. You live around the city, but in the middle it's a big entertainment place. Because people want to have fun. They want to meet. They want to have fun. Nothing else.
Definitely.
And I don't really. I don't want to mean an AI bot to have fun with. You know, how boring is that? Somebody with your same.
I mean, we have a big part of the world where it's starting to get more and more and more normal to have an AI as your friend or as your partner.
But is it fun?
As a partner?
Yeah. But is it fun though? Is it?
I mean, it's more fun than being alone.
Yeah. Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
And for especially for men, that is
good one.
That is a normal reality. For women, it's a little bit easier.
Good answer.
I know that's a good answer, really.
Yeah.
But then also, like, if you go a little bit further with that, because I know people that are not alone, that still have, like, one in their friend group is an AI.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the reason is that there they have a psychologist that is better than the mean psychologist.
Of course. Yeah.
They have a doctor that can answer their questions better than most doctors.
Yeah.
They have someone that can give them guidance and be there, like... rubber duck, we call it when we program. Somebody that like
mirrors you,
that mirrors you and can talk you through things. Something and that is always accessible, never angry. All of that you maybe want in your other friends because you want a little drama, but having that is super valuable.
Of course,
as a friend.
But will you get
and a mentor?
Will you get the drama from AI as well? Could you program it?
I think you can put it in.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want some drama.
I want a Latina girlfriend.
I mean, drama. There is this other sci-fi show. It's called Orwell. You know, have you seen it? They have this. It's a robot there. He's AI. You know, he makes the practical jokes. He saws off the leg of somebody, and it's the future. So of course he survives, but he falls out of bed. You know. That's funny, you know, and they're like talking about this. Oh my God! But it was fun, right? It's like yes, but you know, I understand. But now I'm thinking about, of course. But I think there will be. You have to make a decision. You know, you have the endless possibilities, of course, and it's a strength. You know, AI will in my world, AI will save the world. The AI will do the climate, fix the climate. AI will, fix the government. You know, but. Then again, people will...
Like nuclear power on steroids. It will save the world or we destroy ourselves.
Yeah, but I think it will save itself. I'm an optimist. So...
it's better to live for the probability that it will go well, but knowing the probability that it will go to shit and prepare a little bit for it. Right?
How about that? We can...
You know the topic for this weekend is choose wisely.
Choose wisely,
so
exactly.
I think
That's a good one.
We choose wisely what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I think the technique... When I started to work in Lund, I lived in Ängelholm and I sat on this SJ-tåg and it took 4 hours and I thought, soon and very soon I'm going to beam me up. Travel fast.
Finally.
Yeah. I don't want to be in a computer Umeå. I want to beam me to Umeå. So I can look at that city. Instead, why aren't we aiming for that? To travel like travel.
So, like, I guess like the closest way to do that technologically is not to beam you anywhere.
No.
But rather like that we need to be able to upload brain.
Yeah, of course.
And make copies of bodies. So make an artificial body for you that you have in Umeå. And then when you want to travel there, you just load over yourself to the other body that still has... And then you can test other... like that, it gives a lot of fun opportunities, but we're still really far from there. Like we're starting to make a map of the brain and how it works and how it develops, but it's very early. And but then again, it's one of those things like we have this exponential growth of what we can solve with technology, and with AI follows the same. Like every time, like the experts around the world make a prediction for when AGI will arrive, they have to push it like 70 years or like 70% closer to where we are now, and like it might be before like 2030. We don't know, and so maybe we will solve all of those things way quicker than we think, and maybe not.
It's true. That's interesting. But then again, if you go to the twin world or the metaverse, you experience a lot of persons there. Everybody living there, like the Matrix. You're a different character there. You're the perfect self. You're your fantasy self or something. You're meeting other fantasy self or other made-up persons. But the question, how do you grow as a human on the physical side? In the real life, when you make this trip to Umeå, you meet a train conductor that has a bad day, blah, 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 and you experience human emotions. And from this, you can learn and you can grow. If you sit at home and do your virtual journey, you grow. But I strongly think, at least for the coming 50 years, you will not be able to gain that life experience, which is so important for you to be able to be your better self.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. And that's that's a difficulty. I was on a cafe when I came here. I took a coffee and I found this. I was googling for AI and I found this site. It was a chat when you had 1 minute to chat with somebody, and it could be a person or a chatbot. You had 1 minute. You have to choose in the end. Was it real or
like
was
a
it
Turing test? Yeah.
So funny. And it took me 2 seconds to figure it out because it says, "What's your name?" Oh, Daniel, and it says, "Oh." And I said, "Your name?" And it says Daniel. It's like bot, directly.
Yes. But it might have just be probability as well. You might have met up with Daniel.
But it was so boring. Again, it was so splendidly boring. And I was like, I want to have fun.
But that is also with all the like safety things. But Grok is a little bit more fun than maybe to interact with. But what you said there maybe like can pull us back a little bit because we were kind of dreaming far ahead, and you said like within this 50 years. And I hope it like I will see these crazy things before I die. But maybe we should pull it back to the closest 5 or 10 years, and what people can actually interact with soon.
Yeah, because we have to sum it up. So if you sum it up, the city 5 to 10 years away from here, how do you think it will be?
5 to 10 years from now. I mean, things move rather slow when city development is happening, and so I think hopefully schools and things like that will not be as important because we will have our digital tutors that are like give us the opportunity to be home with friends and family while we educate ourselves. I think as we already seen post-corona, like there's way less office spaces needed. We often have this like office spaces where we have less space than the people working there because people come and go at different days. So I think things like that also affects like how many will actually go on public transports and so on. So it affects how we will plan for roads and different things. In 10 years, well, like we might actually have cracked self-driving cars by then, and then that will also be a thing. So then also like how we plan the road networks and so on will change a lot. But how we will plan, not how like that doesn't mean our city will look that much different because then we have to build new cities, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think mainly like those things. People will travel less, and when they do, it will be more efficient. The same thing, like we see 5 companies at least releasing humanoid robots this year that can do a lot of manual labor. And soon, probably a lot of the manual labor, and we will see even less of this like traveling. So maybe we will actually see even more. Like when we have a place here in Malmö called Kronprinsen, and that was designed so that everything you needed would be in the same block. Like you wouldn't have to go shopping. You wouldn't have to go do anything. You could have your social interactions, everything in the same block. And I think we will go more towards that again, because you won't have to go away to your work or anything like that. So you can actually build communities in a different way. Even though it's hard with us Swedish people that won't even say hello to the neighbors. But
Daniel, some final words. What do you think?
Well, to the same question, first, Kronprins, very good example. They're building one right now in Abu Dhabi, the Mile City, the skyscraper that's mile long. So they're doing exactly that. But 5-10, it's going slow. Yes, it is going really slow. And self-driving cars, I agree, 10 years, that would be perfect, and will change the cities a lot when we do this, of course. And with that in mind, the city planning experience will take even further, because the systems are so old from the 50s, and they're not looking for measurements today, but they have to start doing that. So it will be the same trip for cars, and then the city will force to evolve to this one. I do urge people now today to use AI to make their own cities better. Use the tools now and get out there and make the cities better, make them lively, create meeting points. You know, that's what I want to send out today. It's important, otherwise there is no reason for a city to exist.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this lovely discussion. And I think it created many more questions, so we have to
could we have like 5 hours? Because I think I could go. Maybe a glass of wine as well.
Yeah, but that would be a good one. Yeah, do one.
We will come back to you, I promise. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.